Hello, what we're looking at today is E4P, Service Estimating for Profits. How we're going to start this today, we're going to start by showing you from A to Z, starting with entering a customer straight through proposal generation and estimating of the program. First thing we'll do when we get started is create our customer. We're going to create our customer by going in to the customer slide out on the right, pull open our new customer menu, and enter any data, as little or as much as we want, that pertains to this particular customer. Once you're completed, you'll hit the save icon. That will save that customer, and it will flow straight through the process of estimating for this particular customer's needs. We'll go straight into the estimating from here. Our customer will always follow us as we go through. We're using the U.S. Bank Center, 10th Street, as you see here today. So as we go through this estimate, that will be the customer that will always flow from each tab as we go through for this estimate. Our tabs go left to right. As we click through these, you'll notice that we'll go straight along the line to complete the estimate. First thing we're going to do after we've created our customer is start putting equipment into our particular quote. We'll click the Equipment tab, and you're going to see that we already have some equipment put into this quote. We have air handlers, chillers, package units, exhaust fans, and split systems. The database is very dynamic. It's going to go everything starting with actuators, air compressors, boilers, any kind of auxiliary devices, chillers, commercial refrigeration, right down to cooling towers, computer room units, exhaust fans, any kind of heat pump package units, all your makeups, standard package units, gas driven package units, straight through to split systems, all your controllers, additional controls such as thermostats, unit heaters, and valves. By selecting the equipment that you want, you can select anything within the database. It's going to pull up. You're going to see, starting with 2-ton individual split systems, for example, we'll go from 2 tons to 200 tons. So as we click the 1, 2, or 3 down here, that will open up the additional database. So you can see now we're all the way up to 200 ton. You can select by just highlighting the individual piece of equipment. For example, we'll select a 3-ton. We can drag this and drop it down below into the quote, or we can go up here and just click here from the highlighted item, and it will add it right to the quote. As we do add this, it's going to populate that right into the quote and add it to our list of equipment here. We can go into each individual piece and add in additional information. Everything from make, model, locations, and serial numbers to our pre-populated default information such as annual inspections, operational, annual, repair times, materials cost, and of course filters. The program will pre-grab a filter from your splits and your package units up to 30 ton. Also, you can see here we have predetermined adjustments for full coverage. Everything from adjusting for continuous operation, multiple compressors, compressor warranties, and age and years of the equipment. These apply on the full coverage agreements to maximize your profitability for each estimate. Once you've selected your equipment, you can save it. At that point, it's going to add any changes you have made, add it right to the quote. Every piece of equipment you have will look from left to right here. You can see make, models, locations, serial numbers. Also, things are going to be included, as you can see here, is your annual operational inspections. You can see all your costs are factored right in. Annual labor, operational labor, annual materials costs, operational materials costs. If we were doing with full coverage, you can see our repair, labor, and materials costs are also included. You can see the pre-selected filters that is grabbed for the individual pieces of equipment that do require filters. At that point, you selected your equipment. You've got your quote built off your list. You can click your filters tab next, once again going left to right. You can see the filters that are predetermined in here. You can also customize and edit each individual filter for each individual piece of equipment by changing the size, the quantities per change, or even annual changes. You can also see that the materials cost for each filter is already pre-selected, and the labor hours are also included in this particular part of the quote. Our services tab is a way for you to add anything you want to a particular quote, such as an oil test, a water test, anything that you want to add pertaining to this quote. You can have it described out, how many times we're doing it, labor hours, materials included. So anything outside the parameters you want to add, the program is capable of doing that for you. Subcontractors is our next tab. This tab is built for you to build in any kind of subcontractor or rental equipment that you might need to perform the duties in this task. So we're going to put a description, any kind of vendor information, and our price for that particular item. The program is also going to allow you to build in predetermined rates. You have unlimited rates menu. So basically what we're telling you at that is you can build in as many rate tables as you see fit for your particular company. You might have 1, you might have 10. You can set up your default rates based off a level 1 and level 2 scenarios. Our level 1 is a journeyman tech. Our level 2 is your apprentice tech. You can charge your rates based off 2 scenarios. You can do your birding plus markup, as we have here. We have $65 an hour, and we have a 30% markup in our labor. You can also have a preset rate of, say, $99 an hour with no labor markup. You can determine the rates based off your need. So if we want to charge $70 for repair replace work, you can see we can enter that and the program will calculate accordingly. You also will choose a trip charge based off 3 choices: a per trip, a per mile, or an hourly truck charge. And of course, assign your individual markups for labor, material, travel, and subcontractors. You also have options such as annual escalation rates for years 2 through 5. You can also see the pre-built-in determinations for our full coverage agreements, and you can see materials and labor tax at the bottom. Once you have pre-built in your labor rates on the administrative menu, these will automatically populate as you do your quote. If you have several different rates to choose from, you would choose the rate that best fits this customer's needs. Our final estimate tab is our next tab. This is going to pull up your internal documentation. So this will pull up all the information populated through the quote you are creating. This is for internal use only. You can see our company name and information. Our building names and information are all as follows. Our labor summary will break down all labor included, from annual inspections, operational inspections, repair replace work, and filter. Our total for this, for example, quote is 30 hours at a rate and cost of $18.73 with a sell price of $24.35. All broke down once again through your labor summary. Also, we had 4 trips. It breaks down our travel, as you can see here, $100. Our materials summary breaks down annual operational, repair, replace, and filters, and any additional services that we might have added for $802 on our sell. It's going to total all of this up. We're going to have $2,507 with a 24% gross profit margin, $829 profit for $3,393 total today. You can see, based off your selection of a 3-year agreement, it's totaling this out for 3 years. Once you have completed the final estimate, the next report is the external report, or the proposal that will go to the customer. This is also a pre-populated report. It will pull all the information based off what you've told it in the beginning, your customer information, your company information. You can edit each individual proposal while you're in edit mode here. So if you want to change something, you're in design mode, you can actually go in and change any part of the program. Once you are comfortable with your setting, you click View Filled PMA. This will populate and merge all the information over from your quote, your customer information, and your company information. So as you see here, our prepared by and our prepared for, our table of contents, our executive summary. As you can see, every place where individual company name needs to be, it populates, and the customer accordingly. Once again, this is a total customizable template. Can be fitted to every customer's needs or company's needs for further documentation or customization. We're going to talk about the benefits of program maintenance agreement, avoiding expensive downtime, utility waste costs, extending the life of the equipment, administrative cost reductions, so on. We'll bullet point each one of those. We'll talk about our implementation teams within the company so the customer knows who to call for billing questions, service questions, anything they might need to assist them. We'll go into program features such as 1 annual, 3 operational. We'll talk about what's included within the maintenance. We'll include materials, gaskets, oils, lubricants, performance procedures. We'll talk about our L filter maintenance. We'll talk about providing the labor, materials, and disposal of the filters. We'll go into our investment. We said we're going to do a 3-year program. We're going to begin it on 4/1/2012. And here's our pricing all merged over from the final estimate report that we reviewed earlier. We'll also include quarterly, monthly options if the customer requests that, proposal letters, and accepted letters as well. Terms and conditions are at the back and can easily be modified to fit each individual company's needs. You'll have 3 templates. You'll have one for full coverage, one for repair only, and one for maintenance only. All 3 can be customized to fit your needs. The next tab is our equipment list. This will pull out the individual list of maintained equipment that you have inside your estimate for an additional report that you can provide to the customer or for internal use as well. As you can see, we'll break down each individual piece of equipment, sizes, quantities, makes, models, locations, and serial numbers as you accordingly would fill these in. Customer tasking is our next section. This section will pull out the individual tasks that are required to do the individual pieces of equipment that you have selected. So for example, we will grab our split system, and what this is a 1-page customer-oriented task list to present to the customer with the proposal. You can see our split system is going to go over the part, the function, and the task required for this particular maintenance piece of equipment. The next thing we would provide is a tasking list for the techs. This looks a little different than the prior tasking list because this is for field use for the techs. The program will only pull out the list for the individual pieces of equipment that you have pre-selected inside your estimate. So if we have our air handler here, we want to look at our annual maintenance list that provide manual, annual, operational, startup, and shutdown. So you can see here, here's our tasking list for our air handler. We have a status section and a note section as well to go along with this 41-point checklist. These can also be modified to meet your needs. After our tasking list, we have another tab, our images tab. This tab is designed for you to be able to attach any photos to an individual quote. As you can see here, we have a couple different things in here. We have a couple package units that will always be assigned right into this quote. If you want to look closer at them, you can always open them up and highlight them, but you can attach any pieces of equipment that you might want to show before and after pictures for an individual quote, and a note section attached to that as well. We also have a full administrative menu to the program. You can manage your users, your rates, your templates. You can create new templates, whatever your need might be. It's all going to be an administrative menu. You can also manage your equipment. For example, on that, you can change any of our predetermined labor hours, materials cost, or default information that you see fit for your company. You can pull right up the whole database and sort it by individual line items, or you can do global adjustments, for example, as a whole. If you just wanted to update our filter database on materials cost, you could come into our global adjustment tool and update all filters by 5%, for example. We do have reset, so if you make an adjustment, you don't like how it came out, you can reset back to the default original settings. This is our program, E for P, Service Estimating for Profits. Thank you.